Why?
Keith,
yeah.
Sam, we're going to do our
I
top...
show you the way.
Hello.
We're going to do our top 10 Amon Amarth songs.
Yeah.
This is going to be very fun. Amon Amarth
I
has...
just make a bunch of noise. I had a candy bar in my mouth.
Some recent...
Leave it there.
Some
So everybody who watches gets hungry. It's just like that.
Hey, my mom was out, and she was like, "Do you need anything while I'm out?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not? Here's a couple bucks. Could you get me like a Reese's?" And she got me a Reese's Fast Break. Who the fuck gets Reese's Fast Break? When you say Reese's, you want peanut butter cups.
Yeah. Never.
True. Anyways, yeah, we're going to do our top 10 Amon Amarth songs. This will be very fun. Amon Amarth has many great albums, many great songs.
No, I don't disagree on that.
Lots of great...
They're all bad.
Yeah.
They're not a good band.
No, they're not.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
Why are we making this video?
They're like French or something. I don't know. They're European.
No. Okay, let's start. Keith, start. Number 10.
My number 10, I have We Shall Destroy.
Me
From
too.
Deceiver of the Gods. I think there's mostly three parts. There's like the intro with like the opening riff is fucking awesome. The riff that plays underneath like the verse is also awesome. And then the middle section, which like goes all like Thunder Kiss 65 and gets all jumpy, is awesome. It's just like those are some of my favorite riffs in like Amon Amarth songs, and I just really like the the vocals as well. And it's just a very upbeat kind of jumpy song, and that's why I enjoy it.
Yeah. To me, it's that intro. It's just badass, man. Especially when they stop it a little bit, the band stop, and they're like, dun, dun. It's like fucking awesome. I love it. I think, especially on that album, I feel that's definitely the heaviest song on it, and that middle section is just cool, for sure.
You can't like just bob your head. Can't help it.
What's number 10?
My Round 10 was off their Under the Influence covers EP. The one they did that was kind of, I guess, modeled after Motorhead, Burning Anvil of Steel. I thought it was a pretty good song. The chorus is really catchy. I really like that EP because it showed off like a different... That they are a band that... I don't want to say gets criticized, but some people who criticize them that like album after album, it's... I personally don't think that they write the same songs ever, but it's, sometimes... Themes are recycled, I could say, about Vikings and Vikings and Vikings. Sometimes Vikings. But then for them to like kind of go off the beaten path, at least for them, and do something like they had like another song that I actually have on my list. But to just kind of show they're more than just that they are really like a creative band, and when they step outside that genre, it's cool to see kind of this blending of influences, and it really worked out. Number 9 was, I kind of had to have it, but Pursuit of Vikings. It's a good song. It's not my favorite, but it's that classic Amon Amarth song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most popular.
It's Pursuit of Vikings,
Yeah. At number 9, I have, I guess it's The Last Stand of Free, I guess?
Frey.
Is that Frey?
Stand of Frey.
Is it Frey?
It's Frey.
Okay. Off of Certain Rising. And what I like about this song a lot is it's kind of sort of a different side to Amon Amarth. It's a little bit on the slower side, especially in the beginning with just a really cool guitar lead, Johan Hagg's vocals on top of it, make it just very like dark. And then it gets to, those like kind of tremolo picking epic sections that Amon Amarth is really good at. Usually they do that in a fast-paced way. This time it's slowed down, and I think it adds a lot of atmosphere to the whole song. And then the ending is really good. It's a little bit more upbeat, but overall, I think it's a tight song, and it's something that I like when Amon Amarth tries a few different things, and this is one where they played up, kind of doing the same thing, just a little bit slower, a little bit more melodic throughout the whole thing, which is cool.
My number 9, I have is it Runestone to My Memory or Runes to My Memory? The thing that sells me, like I really like the intro, which is cool, and then the verse riff. But I mean, the best part of the song is the chorus, because it's got like the lead underneath it, and it's like just a very like big chorus in a way, which is like a little bit weird, just because it's I could see that like almost being like a power metal type thing, which is how just kind of big it is, and that's like it's just a fun song, and it's one of those like Amon Amarth songs where it just kind of they can just kind of do it twice. It's like it goes and there's the middle section, and they just kind of go through the whole thing again. But I just really like it, and that was and one of the reasons I picked the song is because I remember them playing it when we saw them live. And I'm like, this is awesome. It was one of the better parts of that show. So that's why I have that there. Number 8 is the newest song, I First Kill, from Jams Viking. I really like First Kill. I just, the way the whole song's set up with like the intro and then like the riff and the verse and whatnot, and then as maybe up there with one of my favorite Amon Amarth choruses. I just really like the chorus, and it's just again another one of those things where it's like a natural progression. They just kind of use different parts of the song over and over again, like the main riff. They kind of turn into like the almost like a harmony towards like the middle, towards the later half of the song. And I'm like, yeah, and it's just a song that jams, especially like the intro. The intro just is awesome. So,
at number 8, I have "Raise Your Horns."
ah,
I like this song a lot, mostly just because I feel it's one of the best like metal anthems of recent memory. You know, it's definitely one of those songs that, you know, they're gonna play at every show moving forward, and everybody's just gonna get stoked, throw their fucking horns in the air. It's a very metal song, but I also really like it. Like I like the main riff a lot, and I love the middle section when they start doing like a whole like epic chant sort of shit, and it's a corny Amon Amarth song, but it's one that I think is very good. It's one of the catchiest songs that they have.
My number 8 is War of the Gods.
That's a good song.
It's a really good song. I like how just I don't know, the way the music and the vocals are, like in the verse, it's just so crunchy and like I don't know, just rough and hard, and then when it gets to the chorus, it's just so smooth and so awesome sounding, and the chorus is the highlight of the song. But I just like that transition, and I mean, Amon Amarth does have a lot of really good choruses, like you were saying. But I think this, like you were saying about, you know, I think this is definitely one of my favorite ones, just because it's one of those choruses that really gets, you know, it's catchy, it gets stuck in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Then number 7. For me, is another song like I was talking about off of their Influence EP. It's called "Stand Up to Go Down." It's like it's like the AC/DC song, I guess. It's really fucking good. It has like a nice AC/DC, Amon Amarth. Like you don't think that combination. You don't really think of that combination right away. Like, oh yeah, that would be great. But it's so fucking awesome. It's kind of hard to go back at first to AC/DC, because then you wish like Johan was like their vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, it just makes it sound so much, I don't know, cooler. But yeah, it's, you know.
Do I?
You do now. I mean, it's tough to describe outside of just AC/DC, because it's that, you know, AC/DC style, just that style of riff, that pace and everything, and it really works for them.
At number 7, I have "Cry of the Blackbirds." I love the beginning of this song, especially with the guitar lead and everything, and you know, when the whole band kind of busts in, it's just awesome. But to me, the strength of this song is something Amon Amarth is really good at, his choruses, and this has one of the most epic fucking choruses that they have when. You know, together we ride into destiny. It's like, it's good. I love it. Yeah.
My number 7, I have "Guardians of Asgard."
Mm-hmm.
So it's first Amon Amarth song I ever heard, and I mean it's one of their most popular. I mean, from just like the chorus, which is also the intro, and then the main riff, which is probably one of the 2 most recognizable Amon Amarth riffs. But it's just like a heavy song. And the chorus is again another one of the jumping ones, and I really like the riff in the middle section. Like it's kind of a little bit more like a simpler style song, a little more straightforward. But like, especially because they bring, and I should have looked this up beforehand. They brought like the the one guy, they have another vocalist on for like the chorus, and it just makes it sound even beefier than Amon Amarth even usually has, which is awesome. And so, I mean, yeah, it's Guardians of Asgard. It's their most popular song.
To me, it's the drums in that song, especially in the beginning. The drum work's just fantastic. The whole thing.
I have that song at number 3. But yeah, I agree with everything. Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of skip over talking about it. I have it there.
Number 6, I have As Loki Falls from Deceiver of the Gods. I really like, the way this song is just kind of set up from the intro, which is like, this big epic thing, and then into like the tapping and the riff underneath, which is like kind of what drives a lot of the song, and then with the vocals. And it's one of the more epic songs from Deceiver of the Gods. It's one of the most, and I just thoroughly enjoy it, especially because like, all that stuff and everything kind of comes together, because the tapping cuts out when lyrics come in, but then towards the end of the song it all kind of happens, and they do the intro again, but it becomes like the outro, and it's like somehow even extra epic and whatnot than it was in the beginning, and it's fun. I think it's one of the more. I think they play the song live a lot. It's one of the more popular songs from that album. So,
number 6, I have "Slaves of Fear" off of Circle Rising. I like this song a lot, and I think mostly on the strength of its riffs. Its main riff, especially during the verses, is just phenomenal. It's one of my favorite Amon Amarth riffs. But then they get to one of those kind of middle sections that is epic and simplistic guitars, but it all sounds really good. But what I like about it is I think Johan just sounds better in that part specifically than a lot of things that he's done. Especially it just combined with the lyrics, it just feels a little bit more like almost uplifting in a way. And I like it a lot. It's a song where I don't think about it all the time when it comes to Amon Amarth, like what's the first song I'm going to put on for Amon Amarth. But every time I listen to it, I'm like, fuck, this is one of my favorite songs that they have for sure. Number 6.
My number 6 is "Free Will Sacrifice" off of Twilight of the Thunder God. It's like you were saying, it's like one of those songs that doesn't get a lot of recognition. It just kind of slips in between, literally in between, two of the biggest songs, the 2 biggest songs on that album. But it's one of those really, head-banging songs, and just the pace of the drums and everything. And it's one of those songs I like to put on, I'm playing video games, depending on the game I'm playing. If things are getting really intense or something, I like to throw that on. And it's something that really kind of gets the adrenaline flowing.
The main riff is excellent in that song, and also every time he says "Free Will Sacrifice," it feels like he's popping out of the album and going to really eat your fucking face. It's good.
Then number 5, right? Mm-hmm. Number 5, I have "Variags of Miklagard," another one off of Twilight of the Thunder God.
English, please.
Variag, I think, actually was a name that the Romans called the Vikings.
I believe so, yeah.
Way back when. So fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Knowledge. Ty Lopez. Knowledge. Here I am in my garage. My bookshelf in my garage. Knowledge. But this song is really good. Obviously I'm going to skip to the best part. The best part's the chorus. It feels so, big and grand, and just, so much shit's going on. I love it. It's kind of like I was saying about, oh God, I can't even remember. War of the Gods. The song, the verse is so rough and crunchy, and it's it's metal, and then the chorus is just so, I love when Amon Amarth, how they have the ability to do that, to make some things sound so, I don't know, it's it's tough to explain, I guess, but just how they shift in the tone of the song from something that's a battle's going on, and it just feels fast paced and rough, and then they go to something that just sounds really beautiful, and it sounds something weird to say about Amon Amarth, but they they can do that so well. And I think that's really awesome in this song.
Number 5, I have Gods of War Rise. To me, this has one of the, like, if I was to make, it comes down between this and another song on my list of, like, one of the most badass metal riffs. And to me, the opening riff to Gods of War Rise is one of the most badass riffs I've ever heard in metal. And the verse riff is also really good. It's really chunky and everything. And then later it gets to be a very epic song, and I mean the whole thing is, but the section in the latter half of the song is definitely different than the first, and I really like how they change that up completely and not just stick with this sort of vibe going on throughout. But it's a song where I just feel like every part is just perfect and very catchy, and it's just that opening riff gets me every time.
Alright, this is the part where my list gets super typical. Number 5, I'm Deceiver of the Gods.
Ooh.
I really like that. I like it as the opener for that album, because, like, I mean, there's, like, the intro, which sounds, like, super epic, but then, like, from how they use that in the chorus, in which I think it's, again, another great Amon Amarth chorus, to the main riff that goes underneath the verses, and the middle section, it's just I think it's one of the most nicely put together Amon Amarth songs. Like, it's not super, like, long or complicated, but it just works. Mm-hmm. And it has a really good solo. You know, it's not the best Amon Amarth solo. I'll get to that in a second. But I do really like the solo and the vocals in this song. But then at number 4, I have Twilight of the Thunder God. There's just a lot that goes really well with this song. I mean, like I just alluded to, I think it has the best solo, unlike any Amon Amarth song. That solo was awesome.
Even though it's not written by them.
Nope. Nope, not the slightest.
It's very obvious when you see him play live.
You know, the main riff is awesome, and I just love the chorus. It's another one of those big, which it's like it's like a big chorus, but it still somehow sounds like gritty, which is nice. And then there's like the middle section, which is another one of those just perfect, just windmill riffs. And you know, this is another one of Amon Amarth's most popular songs. I mean, there's a reason why it's one of their most popular. So it's my number 4.
Number 4, I have a very typical song, "The Pursuit of Vikings." It's the main riff to this song, I think, that gets me every time. It's just a totally badass main riff. But then even the chorus riff is kind of weird in a way. How it it starts off by doing the riff every time, and then the whole band busts in. But and then it busts in with one of the most like epic fucking throw your horns up in the air choruses, especially vocally, that Amon Amarth's ever done. I'll never forget seeing them play this live.
Yeah.
And they totally stopped playing it, and the whole crowd's singing over God or ships. It's good. Very good. But that main riff.
Main riff is
chunky.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a one spicy meatball.
Yeah.
Number 4, right?
Yeah.
My number 4 is Father of the Wolf. The main riff is maybe one of my favorite Amon Amarth riffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though the song is my number 1, it's still like, when it comes down to it, that's a really tough, that would be a tough video. The best Amon Amarth riff.
Man. You could totally make that, though. Because holy hell, they have riffs.
They have a lot of riffs.
A lot of riffs. The best song about Vikings. But then even like the chorus, like when he says "Father of the Wolf" to end it, it's just so fucking awesome. It's really like they have a lot of songs that are adrenaline boosters, will kind of get you going. But this is definitely that song for me because all of it is like it doesn't lose that like momentum at all. Where like some of the songs will kind of go into a different tone, or the song like doesn't lose momentum for me.
Mm-hmm. To me, it's the riff after the chorus that I love.
Yeah.
I mean, the main riff's great, but the one after the chorus, I'm like, this is fucking awesome. The drum beat's great.
Number 3, I had Guardians of Asgard. Like I said, it's a really good song. It's that song for me that honestly, like obviously it's good. I like it. It's my number 3, but it's always been. I guess it's that song I take for granted from them, where like I've heard it so much, and it's like, okay, yeah, like I wasn't gonna have it that high on my list, but then the more I listen to it, I'm like, this is really a good song. But you know, it's one of those songs that's easy to not appreciate, I guess.
Yeah.
My number 3, I have Runes to My Memory. I just love this song. And the beginning, I think, is great with the drum works. The drum work is really catchy. That ba 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 ba. It's fucking awesome. But then, you know, the chorus is fantastic. My favorite part of this song is the main riff during the chorus. It's so weird. And it just feels like very like spidery and I don't know, just crawling all over the fucking guitar. That it's like fucking great. Drums over top of that riff is phenomenal as well. It's just a really well written song with another just absolutely fantastic chorus from Amon Amarth.
3?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you done, sorry.
I was saying some other time.
Okay.
Because it can apply to any Amon Amarth song practically.
Okay.
So
Number 3, I have Death and Fire from Versus World. You know, this song might be like one of the meanest Amon Amarth songs. It's great, and it's one of the things where it's from Versus the World, in which again it's an earlier album. The production isn't as good as it is on later albums, but I think that definitely helps the song. It just makes it sound again meaner and grittier, and it's like, you know, I like the main riff is awesome. It fits, and then with like the choruses and whatnot. But I mean, the part that sells me every single time is the middle section where like the tapping comes in, and it's just like it just gets like unnecessarily epic, and I'm just like, what is happening? And it's just that's the part that sells that song for me, because it's just like, because it's just different, you know. You get this just boom, the song just hits and it does this, and I'm like, yeah, it's like whatever the hell is happening here. And then number 2, I have Pursuit of the Vikings. I mean, I'm not gonna spend too long on it. I mean, these two guys have said most of it. The riff's awesome. The chorus is probably my second favorite Amon Amarth chorus. And then I also really like the outro of the song. I just like the tremolo picking and like the pattern of it. I'm like, because it kind of keeps up the pace and whatnot, and it's fun. So yeah.
My number 2, I have Death and Fire. Death and Fire is the other song I was saying, like, I think that is one of the most badass riffs ever written in metal. I mean, that main riff is just phenomenal. And then I think that has one of the best vocal patterns that Johan has. Because every time he says, like, Death and Fire, then he just keeps going. It's just mean. It's awesome. But then also on top of it, like, the drum work in that song is awesome. Like, especially during the main riff when he's doing all his drum fills and stuff towards the end of every like vocal section. It's just, man, it's really good. But I agree with everything else said. Middle section's fucking great. So number 2.
My number 2 is For Victory or Death off of Soda Rising.
Ooh, that's a good song.
That song, like, it kind of starts off slow, but it's so like epic, I guess, could be a good descriptive word. It's just like, it kind of like builds up and then it just takes off, and it's one of those battle songs that it's just fucking awesome to just kind of, I don't know how a lot of people listen to Amon Amarth, but sometimes I just kind of like zone out and just like drift off and just, I don't know, like just think about like what's going on with the music and everything, and it's just really fucking cool. So it's just a really fucking cool song. But not cooler than my number 1 song.
What's your number 1 song?
My number 1 song, I'm glad you asked, by the way. Twilight of the Thunder God. That's like my favorite fucking Amon Amarth song.
Yeah.
The way it just like builds up at the beginning, and the chorus is fucking amazing. And then just like certain notes like that Johan hits, like in the first verse, he says like the serpent rises from the waves, and the way he says waves, and it just kind of like, he extends that note, and it's just fucking awesome. Like, that song gets me so pumped up.
I know. Me too. It gets me so pumped up because it starts off and it's like, all right, this is cool. The way the chords are kind of being played underneath, or whatever, drums really aren't in. But then when the whole band busts in you know, he's just fucking screaming, and the main riff, you know, turns into like tremolo picking. It's just badass, and it gets me fired up every time too. And I love the chorus in the middle section is great, and it has one of my favorite guitar solos ever. That guitar solo is perfect. But yeah, that instantly was the song that I thought of as like that's probably the best Amon Amarth song. I think that song, if you had to tell somebody, like, what is Amon Amarth? Show me an Amon Amarth song. That's the one I'd put on, because it just has everything. It has the riffs, it has the epic choruses, it has cool fucking guitar solos, it has crunchy riffs,
that part
it has everything.
Toward the end where they're like, just like, chanting, but they're like saying Twilight the Thunder God, and it's like, yeah. I mean, that song has so many levels to it, too.
Yeah.
Like, like you were saying, it does a lot. And, like, that's the song, out of any song that exists, or may ever exist, that song makes me feel like a Viking more than any other fucking song. Yeah. And it's it's about Thor, and Thor's he's the coolest. I mean, I don't know about comic book Thor, but like God Thor.
God Thor's awesome.
Yeah.
What's your number one?
My number one. I'm gonna be the black sheep here of the family. My number one's War of the Gods. I really like War of the Gods.
Good.
Again, kind of like with everything Sam had said earlier. That's my favorite Amon Amarth chorus. I love the riff underneath it and Johann's vocals and whatnot over top of it. That's a song that to me makes me want to just, it's one of those songs that just gets me pumped up, and I just want to punch something. When I listen to it. Like the way the song just kind of busts in with the main riff, and then the verse is well, not brutal, but like this heavy, this crunchy thing, and then like even like the middle sections, and even though the solo in the song is like it's not as it's not the Twilight of the Thunder Gods, which is like this ultra technical shreddy solo. I just feel like it fits so perfectly, and it's just such a nice solo, and I might almost I go back and forth between whether or not I like that solo or Twilight of the Thunder Gods, because it's just like it just kind of comes in and it's kind of slow and it's like very melodic, and it's awesome. And that song just kind of just goes. It keeps up that pace, and it just rams it down your throat for the whole duration of it.
Yeah. Amon Amarth has a lot of good songs, man.
Rams it down your throat.
The song gives me a boner for miles.
Shout out to Valhalla Awaits Me.
Yeah.
That was fucking tight. So is With Odin on Her Side.
Yeah.
Spoiler for what I think the best Amon Amarth album is right there, man.
Yeah.
There's very few Amon Amarth songs that I feel like you could be wrong by putting them on a list like this.
Yeah. But, we're also going to rank all their albums. That'll be very fun eventually to do. I think it'll be good to look at some of their albums as a whole.
Yeah. So it's cool.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Let us know what your favorite Amon Amarth songs are, and we'll see you later.
Yeah. That sounds good.